I grew up in the magical time that was the 90s, playing with my Bop It or my Moon Shoes, playing sports, computer games, and console video games. There are a bunch of games from that era that I still can play and enjoy today, but there is one particular niche of all those games that are nearly impossible to play today, and that is licensed computer games. A little backstory. My wife has had the desire in the last few years to revisit some games from her past. Games like Anastasia, Adventures with Puka and Bartok, The Amazon Trail 2, Batman and Robin Activity Center, Troggle Trouble Math. These games defined part of her childhood, and in the last few years, we have had zero luck in finding a way to play them. My first thought was to see if these games are hosted and distributed anywhere. I checked Good Old Games, Steam, other platforms, but I couldn't find them. What you can easily find are the game files themselves at places like the Internet Archive and other abandonware sites. And that's what we're dealing with here. Software that has been abandoned by the publisher and has not been supported or re-released on any currently available platforms. But let's back up. Video games require either a specific piece of hardware to run them or an emulator, a piece of software or hardware designed to interact with the game code as if it were the original hardware it was designed for. Unlike other forms of media, games can't simply be scanned and transferred to a widely distributable and accessible format. They need that connection to the hardware, and in turn the player, to function properly. So, can we emulate these games today? Believe me, I've tried. Disk images, virtual machines, compatibility modes, and all kinds of emulation solutions are out there. Having used many different console emulators in the past, I'll say that this sector of gaming is one of the toughest to emulate. Computer emulation is definitely possible, but with the amount of variance in hardware configurations, it is tricky to get certain emulators working properly. Console emulation is in most cases a walk in the park. At this point, most computer video game consoles are now emulated to a very high degree of functionality, especially the ones from the 90s, thanks to very hard work from developers and modders and very smart people that know what they're doing. Modern video games are mostly built for consoles and PCs that at this point share very similar architecture. Computer hardware was changing rapidly in the 90s, with new consumer 3D graphics hardware starting to show up in mainstream PCs as well. Now, while I didn't have Doom, I do have vivid memories of skateboarding around Lego Island on either a Compaq or a Gateway computer in a fully 3D environment. It was glorious. So, back to the present. How do we play these games today? In short, you can't. It's a sad state of game preservation when games like this are basically lost to time. Unless you're adept at running emulators or have some old hardware lying around, these games are unplayable. And that's why I picked up this bad boy. This is an iMac G3, hailing from the year 2000. Weighing in with a whopping 512 megabytes of random access memory, a 400 megahertz central processing unit, and an actually surprising 10 gigabytes of hard disk drive space. This was the machine that we needed. Almost. This computer actually came to us running Mac OS X. We actually needed Mac OS 9, and I was able to load those files onto this computer, and now it works just fine. It boots up Mac OS 9.2 right here, and it runs these games pretty well. But enough tech talk. Let's actually get into it. Let's actually play some games and show you what this thing can do. Anastasia, Adventures with Puka and Bartok is a very cute and colorful retelling of parts of the 1997 movie with nice sound effects and music. It's a point-and-click adventure game with some mini-games providing a little challenge. This game even got Hank Azaria and Meg Ryan to voice their characters from the film.
Please allow me to introduce myself. Bartok's the name, Danger's the game.
Not a terribly long game, but it was very entertaining. Learning in Toyland. Now this is one I had at a fairly early age. It's cute and engaging. There are 6 activities based on real-life Fisher-Price toys. Transportation, baking, woodworking, cars, covering all the bases of what kids might find fun. I enjoyed revisiting this game. Brings back good memories. Just don't follow its baking recipes.
Bippity bop bop da bippity bop!
This town is a haven for criminals and thugs of all kinds, because they can hide almost anywhere. Be careful.
Batman and Robin Activity Center consists of activities like match games, code breaking, color by numbers, and mazes, all themed with Batman characters, of course. There's a plot where you're trying to catch all of the villains by completing all of these activities. And a lot of the main Batman animated series voice cast appear in this game. Hearing Kevin Conroy's Batman say,
I'll bet you do well in school, too.
And Mark Hamill's Joker screaming is a delight. The Amazon Trail 2 starts out with this 3D flyover of the Amazon River, made possible by the accelerated 3D graphics hardware in this iMac. You explore the Amazon by boat, meeting people, discovering plants and animals, gathering and hunting, and somehow time traveling in the process. This sequel introduces better looking graphics, 4 guides to choose from, and a much longer adventure with much to discover along your journey.
Come with me to the mighty Amazon River.
So now I can take this copy of Tonka Construction that I've held onto for Rud knows how long and pave a road again, or build a skyscraper, or outfit my favorite truck. What's your favorite retro game, computer or otherwise? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you on the World Wide Web.
Tonka.